Good afternoon, everybody. Jamie O'Brien with O'Brien Homes. I'm extremely excited about today's interview. I've got Rob Drum here. I'm going to let Rob introduce who he is. Rob and I got connected, I think, Rob, maybe right after you moved back to Birmingham. You really started putting out market statistics, and somehow I got on that email chain, and I had to just sit down with you and kind of pick your brain and figure out, what you thought about the market. And we've just developed a little bit of a friendship and connection since then. So I appreciate you coming on. You do some really cool stuff, I think, by digging into the actual numbers and analyzing kind of what's happening in the market. We'll talk about some of the stuff you've been doing as far as like a weekly update on what's happening in Birmingham. But tell everyone kind of who you are and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, Jamie. And like Jamie was saying, we kind of really got into the business around the same time and have kind of both grown over the last couple of years in our businesses and done some things together. And so I'm currently an associate broker at eXp Realty here in Birmingham. I'm also an investor and have a portfolio of rentals, have done probably 15 flips, and really kind of done like a little bit of everything real estate wise. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to data and like figuring out what's going on in the market and, trying to educate myself and anyone who will read or listen to me on what's happening in the Birmingham market. So right now with this coronavirus quarantine having some really just unforeseen, unpredictable effects on the real estate market,
Right.
I thought it would be time to really drill down and go week by week. Here's how it's affecting the market. Here's, what trends I'm seeing. And here's what I'm hearing from other market participants, buyers, sellers, agents that I talk to all the time. And just keep everyone in the loop and myself to make better decisions.
Yeah, so you've been doing that on a high level for probably about 2 years now, you and Brian Tripp with REI Live. I'm hoping we can get Brian on here. He's a busy man, and I totally respect that. But you were doing a monthly update, I believe it's 2 years or something along those lines. And
Yeah,
you've started doing really a weekly deep dive and kind of getting into those micro numbers and trying to see, almost like a live picture of what's happening. So can you talk to a little bit, just kind of briefly, on what is happening in the Birmingham market right now from those numbers, and maybe give us an opinion on what you think is going to happen?
Yeah. So really, I started tracking from really March 25th. That's kind of the data that I'm putting out now goes back to March 25th. That was the first Wednesday that I published. And I'm planning on publishing a video kind of breakdown of the statistics every Wednesday through the end of this thing and when we come out the other side.
Yeah.
And so last Wednesday, I published the third edition of it. We saw a really kind of a sharp drop off in closings, and it was a drop off, but it was also possibly, I don't know that it was that significant, because closings in real estate, it's 30 days from contract to close usually.
Sure.
And so that is all stuff that happened a long time ago before this even got serious for the most part. So, talking, and then I also track each week the active listings and the contingent pending properties, like how many are under contract to close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably one of the most telling things, because it's very sensitive. I mean, it's updated every day in MLS, and we really, from the beginning until last Wednesday, listings climbed slightly from 4,200 and change to 4,300 and change. So more properties are getting listed. and then the contingent pendings went down slightly from like 3,100 and change to 2,900 and change.
Okay.
I mean, I read a really good piece by Zillow Research that kind of summarized the findings from pandemics in other parts of the world and historically, and tracked how it affected the real estate market,
Right.
which has kind of formulated my thesis of what we're probably looking at, which is a drop-off in volume, which we may or may not already be seeing. Volume of closings is going down, and it will essentially pop right back up and even kind of overcompensate for the lack of closings. And then prices are going to pretty much continue in their trend that they were on.
Okay.
And that's pretty much just what the research in other parts of the world says. How long we stay in this economic lockdown, I think, could affect that, but that's my hypothesis of what we're going to be looking at.
Yeah, and it obviously depends on kind of how long this thing lasts. And I've been reading a ton of stuff on it as well. And there's so many different theories on what could happen. I mean, some people are saying beginning middle of May, we'll get back to normal. Some people are saying we're going to see little pop-ups of this with more shutdown over the next 18 months. So, I mean, there's such a widespread opinion of what could happen with this, but I tend to lean more, and maybe it's because I follow all of your information. I think it's really good information, but I tend to lean more with your thesis of, I think we're going to come out the other side of this, and once the economy gets opened back up, we're going to pop right back really to where we are. I think just from talking to other people, it sounds like there are people on the sidelines that normally would be looking to buy right now, but with some uncertainty in economics and jobs and everything else, they may be putting on the brakes if they're not in a position where they have to buy. Someone mentioned the other day, transient, or not transient, but people relocating are going to continue to drive the market. Birmingham's been a growing city for a while now. So hopefully that should continue to churn a little bit, but I tend to lean more with you that I think we're going to maybe see a little bit of a dip for a month or two, and then hopefully we're going to pick right back up where we left off. How is this changing how you are doing business right now, I guess, from both an investor standpoint and from a retail standpoint?
So I'll start from the retail standpoint. I had a couple clients that were looking to sell, and when I first realized a couple weeks ago when it hit me, like, this is going to be a real serious thing, I had a couple clients that I talked to, and it was kind of they wanted to sell, but they didn't have to right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the approach, like, let's wait and kind of see what's going to happen with this. Are we going to go in a total lockdown? There were so many questions that I thought, for their sake, it'd be better just to wait.
Yeah.
And see how it shakes out. And what I've seen is, talking to other agents, it's still, properties that get listed or going under contract first weekend, multiple offers.
Okay, good.
All that stuff that they've still got buyers that are wanting to make offers. All that's kind of business as normal, but the processes are tweaked as far as closings and showings and all that. That's changed, but there's still a lot of activity going on. So I've got 2 listings going live this week, and I'm pretty confident. I've probably got another one in the next week or 2, and I'm pretty confident in how they'll be received, and hopefully going under contract pretty quickly.
Good. Yeah, excellent. No, that's good news, because we've got one going live hopefully on Friday. We're trying to finish just the final touches, punch list on it. Actually, one that I've been working on that I was going to keep as a rental, decided it might be a time to liquidate if there are going to be opportunities here at the back half of this year. I don't know if there will or not be more opportunity, but just decided where we're at right now, going to try and sell that property. Can always turn it into a rental if we have to, or it doesn't sell for any reason, but we're starting construction on another one on Friday as well. And so I'm hoping that we get, we're 4 to 6 weeks probably on that one for the total rehab. And my fingers are crossed that we'll be on the other side of this by the time that one hits the market.
Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, I think there's going to be a sweep by buyers who are kind of sitting around right now for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Once things open back up, they're just going to take everything that's out there.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, we got about 5 more minutes. I want to just pick your brain on what you're doing from an investment standpoint, or kind of what your thoughts are, what you're seeing from other investors. I know I've talked to several who are slowing down, but they hold I've probably said this 3 times on these interview series, but they hold a much larger amount of capital that's out there, right? Much larger inventory, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so how is this affecting your strategy right now?
So my investing goal for the year was very conservative. I was really already in a place of like streamlining the portfolio, cutting down on expenses, making it just run better, and also not doing any flips, just because I was focusing on being a better, more productive agent.
Sure.
And so I kind of in the last 2 years, I probably had at least 1 flip going at all times, sometimes 2, 3, 4. And so I've got a couple that are rental properties that need to be refinanced, and that's kind of off the table right now.
Right.
Just because financial markets are kind of crazy, but there's nothing urgent that I have to do. So, if there was a good deal that I came across that looked like it would be a great long-term hold, I would buy it right now, but I just, I'm not being aggressive. I'm still in like survival mode. Let's ride this out. Let's wait and see. And some people are I think talking to some people, they are trying to be pretty aggressive and be out there saying I'm still buying, and whether they are or not, I don't really know, but
well, I know it's going to open a whole can of worms. We're going to run a little long for some of the platforms, but I think this is great information, something to talk about. I know that, we're looking at it as an opportunity to potentially pick up some of those houses that we never see when the big players are buying, with the hope, being a little aggressive, that we're going to come out the other side by the time we get it ready for market, right? And
That's
so I'm looking actively, and we have a couple in the pipeline, which I'm excited about. I'm either going to be it's either going to be a really smart decision, or I'm going to look like a fool at the end of this. So time will tell. But we are definitely being more conservative on our numbers, and definitely building in some buffer just in case, right? Because you still need to invest smart and plan for worst case scenario, I believe. So
yeah.
Well,
I will say another piece of kind of, I guess, anecdotal economic information, and I would guess you've probably seen the same thing, but I talked to my property manager, and he said, for this time of the month, we're right at normal collections. Like, it's just like any other month.
Yeah.
As far as people paying rent. So that's promising for investors.
That is, and we collected 100% this month, knock on wood, and fingers crossed that will continue into May. I guess if you look at the national statistics, we're doing pretty well, but we also aren't playing in some of those really big markets that have been obviously more affected by all of this. And hopefully we get out the other side of this quickly, and we don't see too much hurt from it. But we definitely are taking an approach, that if our tenants need it, we're going to be willing to work with them, get them through this. At the end of the day, this is a people business, as you know, and I believe in trying to help people when you can. And so if we can do that for somebody and they're in a hard time, we're going to do it. But we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, man, I think we could go another hour. And I think what I would like to do is maybe bring you back on in a week or two, just kind of see what's changed, if you're good with that. But
yeah.
tell everyone kind of where they can find you and what you're up to. I know you're going to be posting, I believe, every Wednesday on Facebook and other platforms, YouTube, and some other. So tell people where they can find you and how they can follow that information that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, the best way probably is just friend me on Facebook, just Rob Drum. Instagram, I'm on YouTube. My website is robdrum.us. You can subscribe to, I'm sending out an email each week with the updated videos. So any of those will work.
Perfect. I'll put all those. Yeah, I'll put all those down below. And I highly recommend that if you, even if you're retail or an investor, you follow some of this information. It's great information. You can find us, O'Brien Homes, Facebook or Instagram is probably the easiest way to get a hold of us right now. We're posting us on YouTube as well. But if we can ever help you with anything, please reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions. And I hope you guys have a great day.